power. For a man with so much skeletons in his past, Buhari should have been compassionate enough to reach out to families of individuals who were victims of his brutish past and seek genuine restitution.
When Buhari said ruthlessly, he meant it. During the 41-year-old Major General's time in power, Nigerians came to understand what it meant to live in fear. With his partner, 41-year-old Major General Tunde Idiagbon, a program to save the country was designed. They called it the War Against Indiscipline, with emphasis on war.
Buhari is part of a past well let alone. Only the future should matter, and nothing about him speaks to Nigeria's future. On the 20th of March 1984, the Buhari-Idiagbon regime launched the war against indiscipline. Why?
To little but important everyday manifestations of indiscipline, such as rushing into buses, constituting ourselves into public nuisances, working without commitment. Up to this moment, there has been no formal declaration of war against indiscipline. It is my pleasure, therefore, to declare today the launching day for the war against indiscipline.
The problems Idiagbon highlighted were real, and most of the solutions he suggested that day. The issue was how he and Buhari implemented their campaign. They pursued a brute force and highly physical campaign, which inevitably made them unpopular with ordinary Nigerians.
Many Nigerians will never forget the koboko, or bulala, or horsewhip lashes that lacerated their backs for not queuing up at bus stations, or for even dropping a piece of paper. Soldiers beat up policemen on the streets. Civilians were regularly harassed by uniformed men to the point that they were bloody civilians. Men were forced to do the frog jump, humiliated in front of their wives and children. Also, General Buhari's reign witnessed the beginning of religious fundamentalism in Nigeria. In February and March 1984, the Maitasili sect, under the leadership of Musa Makanike, unleashed terror on the populace in Yola, Adamawa State, and about 1,000 lives were lost. There was also the authoritarian Decree 4, under which it was a punishable offense for anyone to publish any material that was deemed as embarrassing to any government official. On the 11th of April 1984, operatives of the NSO arrested two journalists, Tunde Thompson and Nduka Irabo of the Guardian newspaper, were brought before a military tribunal and accused of forcefully accusing public officers, even if what the journalists wrote were right. On the 2nd of June 1984, a summons from the tribunal was sent to the accused, and it read, "From to Public Officers Protection Against False Accusation Decree No. 4 of 1984, summon to accused, that you, Tunde Thompson and Nduka Irabo of the Guardian Newspaper Limited, Rutham House, Isolo, on April 1, 1984 at Rutham House, Isolo, in Lagos, did publish false statement contrary to Section 1.1 of the Decree No. 4 of 1984. You are therefore summoned to appear before the tribunal mentioned above, sitting at Federal High Court on the 4th of June at the hour of 9 a.m. in the forenoon to answer the said complaint." Unquote. Their employer, the Guardian Newspaper Limited, was also accused. On Decree 4, Buhari has remained unrepentant. It did not matter whether the story reported was true or not. If my regime did not like it, the writer will go to jail. Bekolo Larry Ransom Kute, popularly known as Beka, was chairman of the Lagos branch of the Nigerian Medical Association and later its national deputy. In 1984, his brother Fela was arrested at the airport as he was preparing to leave for a US tour on what Amnesty International described as spurious charges of illegally exporting foreign currency. Using the new draconian decree that allowed for indefinite detention of political opponents, the government of General Muhammadu Buhari sentenced Fela to 10 years in jail. Ransom Kuti, using the Medical Association platform, began a campaign to get the decree revoked and get Fela and all those detained released. But in fact, Beko himself was jailed and only released in 1985 when Buhari was overthrown by General Ibrahim Babangida. Against the background of the judicial murder of Owo, Ogedengbe, and Ojuolape, one can understand the Sharia mindset of General Buhari. Even his actions predate that of the Taliban, a living modern-day apostle of the Hammurabi's code of law, an eye for an eye. Now, there was the case of the 53 suitcases involving the father of Buhari's ADC, the then Colonel Mustapha Jokolo, whose father was the Emir of Gwandu and Buhari's half-brother. Mustapha Jokolo helped his father, the Emir of Gwandu, to smuggle into the country through the Murtala Mohammed Airport 53 suitcases suspected to contain foreign currency, which the then administrator of the Lagos Airport Customs Command, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, was not allowed to search. This was in spite of the fact that the Buhari administration had placed a ban on importation of currencies.